We are back, folks, here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTKA.com. Sam Webb and Ira Weintraub on the other side of the glass. Great coaching guests that's a norm here on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA. We already talked to Coach Bakich this morning. Normally we talk to our next guest on Tuesday, but we had a great fill-in and assistant coach Jory McCorvey, but joining us now as her team they have made it to the next round of the WNIT is Michigan women's basketball coach Kim Barnes Arico. All of our coach guests from State Street are brought to you by Dexter Builders. Dexter Builders specializes in providing complete home improvement services from initial design through construction to final walkthroughs and inspections. They can handle the whole job or any part of the job. They are Dexter Builders. And Coach Arico, good morning.
Good morning, Sam.
Well, you guys have made it to another round and really handled Duquesne 68-52, coach, and a familiar theme, Saisha Goree with a double-double for you, 24 points and 11 rebounds to lead the way.
Yeah, Saisha was terrific. She actually came out of the gates, as did our team, and we really jumped on them right away. We got a big lead. I think we were up 15-4, and we extended that lead. And kind of a common theme is Saisha picked up her second foul in the first half, and we had to put her to the bench. And when she was on the bench, Duquesne made a little bit of a run, and we took a chance and we got her back in the first half, and she was terrific. And then she followed that up as well in the second half. She had a complete game, probably one of her best games all year long.
You know, Coach, that's an interesting sign of growth, because we've talked about that a number of times this year, where whether it's Saisha or certainly with Saisha especially, if she picked up her second foul, you say, hey, got to sit her down and bring her back in the second half. But you put her back in this game, and the outcome is different. She manages it well, and a sign that next year, or even the remainder of this season, when that happens, you can feel comfortable, a little more comfortable anyway, throwing her back in the fire in that situation.
Definitely, and I think that's a sign of her growth, like you said. Her experience, her having the opportunity to be in those situations before, and we also gave her, a large task of guarding the other team's best player, an inside kid who is kind of similar to Saisha. And she did a terrific job on her in the first half as well, and really limited her scoring and really kind of shut her down. So I was proud of her overall effort, but she was able to get back in there with 2 fouls and, not draw the third one and be smart about her play.
Coach, it was interesting to be able to talk to Joy at length about Saisha's development. And, you and I have spoken about Saisha a great deal, but what Joy kind of highlighted even more is how much you have kind of cultivated mindset, because she said, Saisha wasn't always about grabbing rebounds. She was all about getting buckets. It was an offensive game to her altogether. And I thought, wow, really? You wouldn't know from the looks of it that she ever had a problem going to grab a rebound, but that gets back to cultivating that mindset.
Yeah, it's so interesting. We hear other people speak, and when the Stony Brook coach came to town, I know her a little bit. She's like, oh my goodness, Saisha Goree, she's a monster. We don't want to go against her on either end. And I'm like, ooh, people really feel this way about her. So, it was great to hear it from a different coaching staff. But Saisha really has bought into that, and I think our whole team has as well. We did a terrific job on the defensive end in the first half of the Duquesne game, and they shot, I think, 25% from the floor, and we really locked in, and we really, and Shannon Smith's another one that has shown tremendous growth. And, it's like with anything, if you, start demanding it and expecting it, the kids definitely are capable of doing it, and if they see that it really makes a difference in the game, they buy into it. So they really feel like defense and defensive rebounding really, truly helps us win the game. So Saisha and Shannon have really stepped up in this, second half of the season and done a great job in that area.
We're talking to Michigan women's basketball coach Kim Barnes Arico here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTK.com. Coach, you mentioned Shannon, and we'll talk about Bowling Green coming up. The Wolverines will be taking on Bowling Green in the third round of the WNIT Thursday night tip-off schedule for 7 o'clock down at the Stroh Center in Bowling Green, Ohio. But important to make note and to highlight the other aspects of her game as well. Because, I think Stony Brook, I think it was 13 points, 13 assists, 12.7 rebounds against Duquesne. So doing the other things, the things other than scoring, the same thing that you were just talking about with Saisha.
Yeah, and I think that shows, the difference in our team from the beginning of the year until now. It's funny, we watched film because we played Bowling Green in the first game of the year. So we went back and watched that film and how much our team has grown and how different we are at this point in the year. And in that game, Shannon took 17 shots and Saisha took 5. So, now Shannon is, leading our team in assists and finding the open person and making extra passes. And Saisha is a lot of times on the other end of that, as is Madison Rostovsky. So I think our team has grown tremendously, and I think Shannon really values doing the extra things. And actually, after that Stony Brook game where she had 13 assists, she came into the Duquesne game and she had a couple opportunities to shoot the ball inside the paint and was looking for extra passes. So I told her at halftime, I know she's trying to break another, Michigan record in terms of assists, but she has to also look at the basket. So I think, it's a good balance because we do need Shannon to score for us as well. But she is buying into, creating easy baskets for her teammates and also rebounding the basketball because we need the guards to rebound for us as well.
We're talking to Michigan women's basketball coach Kim Barnes Arico here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTK.com. And shout out to your stats person, Coach, because you're absolutely right. The stats bear it out, just how different this team is, how unselfish it is. You guys set a program record for assists with 512. So 13 assists by Shannon a game ago. You had 7 assists by Sierra Thompson in the last game versus Duquesne. You guys share the basketball extremely well, and that certainly is an element of your team that is really developed.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, and my media relations girl, Sarah, told me that after the game the other night. But I think that really speaks volumes to our team and how unselfish we are, and kind of, Sam, like what we've alluded to all year long, how we don't have that superstar and we don't have that kid that needs to get 20 shots a game to feel like we've been successful. We have such a balanced attack, and we have a group of young women that want to make the extra pass, that want to make the right play, that, want to get their teammates involved, and to set the record in a year that, we were expecting to have a transition year, to set the record for assists. I just think speaks, to our team and to their buy-in and to their commitment to really improving and really playing as a team, doing things the Michigan way, the team.
All right, so tell us about Bowling Green, Coach. As you said, you played them earlier this season. They won that game 63-52. You're different, as you said, but what about Bowling Green? What are they compared to what they were at the beginning of the season? What do you see when you look at them on film?
Bowling Green is a great team. They have 29 wins right now. They've only lost 4 games all season long. They won their conference. They just lost in their conference tournament. So they're an experienced team. When we played them in that first game of the year, they returned 3 senior starters, a transfer from Duke, a group of experienced players that have played together for a long, long time. So they're similar to us. They have a balanced attack. They have multiple scorers. They can score inside. They can score outside. They shoot the 3 ball a tremendous amount. They rebound the ball exceptionally well, but they play well together, and they play really well at home. They haven't lost a game all year at home. So it will definitely be a challenge for us. But I think our kids are really excited about the opportunity to show how far we've come and how much we've grown in the last few months and how we are a different team and how we are an improved team. So I think tomorrow night's contest is going to be a great one.
Well, Coach, it's one of those deals where you've played them before. I'm curious how it works on your side of things. We just talked to Marcus Raid. He said, hey, when he was coaching, he would call on friends and say, hey, what did you do against this team to see, to kind of pick their brains to see how things went. Torrey Verdi over at Eastern Michigan, they beat, they play Bowling Green a couple of times this season. I'm curious. They lost those games, but I'm curious, is that something that you can do? Can you reach out to other coaches in the profession and say, hey, what did you do against this team?
Well, what's so interesting about that is the first game of the year when we played them, we were getting the ball over half court, and Bowling Green was calling out our plays before before we were calling out our plays. And at that point, we had a bunch of new kids that didn't even know our stuff, and Bowling Green kind of knew it better than us. And it's interesting because the Bowling Green coach prior to the Bowling Green coach now is the Indiana coach. And we played Indiana a number of times, and recently in the Big Ten tournament. So his longtime assistant, took over for him.
Okay.
So they know our stuff inside and out.
Gotcha.
But, I haven't talked to Tori in a minute, but now that you bring that up, Sam, after I hang this phone up, that will definitely be my next call.
Great stuff as always, Coach. Now, you want to clue the fans in. You guys have a fan bus going down, right?
Yes, we do, and we've had some great crowds in the last couple of games, and it really makes a difference, especially when playing on the road, playing at a place where the other team's been really successful. So anybody that's listening wants to get on a fan bus, we have a fan bus leaving tomorrow at 5 o'clock, and there's going to be pizza on the bus. It's going to be a free trip to Bowling Green. So if anybody's interested, please, come on down.
All right, great stuff as always, Coach. Really appreciate you taking the time out with us this morning. 2 times this week we've been able to talk about Michigan women's basketball and talk about a couple of victories. We'll hope to have you on again next week so we can talk about more success on the hardwood. So good luck, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks so much, Sam. Always great to talk to you.
All right, thanks a lot. That was Michigan women's basketball coach Kim Barnes Arico, keeping it real with us, Ira. You heck, doggone right. I'm giving Coach Verde a call. Saying, hey, no, you lost a couple of times to Bowling Green. They came out on top in those games, but what did you see? What did they do? Hey, Indiana did it. Excuse me, not Indiana, but Bowling Green did it. Hey, they were calling out our stuff. 8:49 on a Wednesday. I think truthfully that's how it goes. I think that's how it goes, man. Got to get to a break. Back on the other side here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, the official voice of University of Michigan.